Here? Okay. Chris, can you see if we can hear you right now? She's kicking me. Yeah, a little bit. Can you make your sound louder? Let me see if I can make my sound louder to hear you. I think you're good. Say something. Say something now, hon. Kinda. So, okay, Sharon. Good to see you.
Okay, so, the past few minutes, I've been kind of, how many meetings you are with there, is it kind of busy?
I can't hear. Yeah, and I'm getting too much feedback. No.
Can you take off your headphones?
Can you take off your headphones? Disconnect it?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so maybe that was the problem. So, well, first of all, so for the last 2 minutes, I've been kind of in the meeting, but not because I was between trying to figure out what was going on with my mic. But, so what I keep getting, out of meetings, and this is why I keep coming back, is that, the significance of the relationship between recovery and abstinence. I'm not abstinent right now.
I know.
And
Thank
I
you
keep
for sharing that. Thank you for saying that.
Oh, you're welcome.
And you guys, we say instead of saying we're not abstinent, we say I'm in active addiction right now.
Okay.
Right? Because I'm going to own it so that I can do my best to fix it.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
So, I keep having these conversations with Liz, kind of trying to determine whether or not I'm really getting, the messages that are being conveyed in these meetings. And she really helps. She helps provide some clarity for me. And also I can say is I see so much change in her since she's been doing this, and I want that change for myself. So I know that this is where I need to be, and I know that there's a lot of work that I need to do. But right now, I'm still just trying to wrap my brain around it all, and I appreciate y'all letting me be here.
It's our pleasure. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm going to tell you something about Liz, man. Liz has done so much hard work. Liz came in here kicking and screaming a couple of times, and I told her to do stuff, and she was like, F you, man. And she did it anyway. No matter what I ask of her, she does it. She does it outwardly and openly and through tears and pain and heartache. And she does it anyway, and she's getting well. And each time she does it, she's getting well. You guys, if we could all just have some recovery, then none of us would be here.
If I could give everyone recovery, I wouldn't do it, because part of the joy and part of the learning is going through the process. Because can I tell you something? The stuff I've learned about myself, the stuff I've learned about myself is invaluable. And you mentioned something really interesting, Chris, because Liz is one of those people, no matter how she was kicking and screaming, shows up for every single meeting. She steps into every single workshop that we've ever had since she's been around. She does the work, she shows up no matter how she's feeling and no matter what her mind is telling her, and whatever she's feeling doesn't matter. She knows deep down what is good for her, and she does it anyway.
Even if she doesn't think it's good for her, and even I had her do an assignment. She's like, I'm doing this assignment. I feel like a fraud. Felice is an asshole, and I'm going to do it anyway.
Right.
And she did. I mean, those are basically your words, right? She put them up online. So, I mean, she was like hating on me big time, but she did it anyway. And Liz, you did a lot of hard work yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah,
Right? You hated
yesterday was the hardest.
Yeah, she hated yesterday, but you know what? She did it. She did it. She did it, and she works through it. And these things come up, and these feelings come up, and the need to understand why and why we're doing the things that we're doing. You know how Yoda says, "Do or do not. There is no try. Either you're going to be in recovery or you're not." When we're trying to be in recovery, we're going to use. So I know that firsthand.
So I just want to, for people who are just joining us and are not quite sure about what workshops and what this really looks like, I just want to explain it in a way that makes sense. So for me, I reached a stage where My clothes, I was uncomfortable in my clothes. I was living in the same 3 outfits, the same 3 black outfits all the time. My knees were caving in, my hips, all my joints were aching. I felt terrible on the inside. I was empty, I was lonely. I wanted to actually die at that stage. I was so broken at that stage. I didn't know that there was another way out. The workshops we developed and the workbook that Dr. Felice put together is a way that we learn to actually get in touch with those feelings and why we're doing things and how to work through it to be able to live happy and healthy lives. And it doesn't just happen by listening and showing up and coming to meetings. That's definitely part of it. Being part of our community and joining our community and getting that support is essential to being healthy as well, because we couldn't do this on our own. You know, I needed the friends in recovery to help me through this so I could do it together. So we actually have a workshop that's coming up on the 20th, if anyone's interested.
What day of the week is that? 'Cause I have
It
no
is,
idea.
don't ask me days, but I just know it's the
Probably
20th.
Saturday. Oh.
I know it's the
Thursday.
20th.
It's a Thursday. Okay, it's
And
a
this
Thursday. No
is
Panther
about-
game that night, obviously.
Right.
It wouldn't be a Thursday.
And
Okay.
and the reason we've got this one is it's just before Christmas. So and we know it's a challenge. The holidays are really a stressful time for a lot of people. It's a great time to start working on your recovery or step into your recovery. We also have one just before New Year on the 27th, because you know those New Year's
Two Thursdays in a
resolutions
row.
that we make and then we keep 3 months later, we're beating ourselves up again.
3 minutes later for some
And
of us.
those are 2-hour intensive workshops where we actually sit in them. Anyone who's done them, you can ask around. They are incredible. The learning is amazing and the tools we come out of it are amazing. And then we also have, for people who want to kick it up a bit, is a 7-week recovery workshop. That's an intensive workshop that starts January the 5th. And the reason we put this all together is because this time of the year is really hard. It's really difficult to be alone and dealing with it.
So I'm going to interrupt you because we're going to talk about perspective for a second, right?
Yeah.
Because recovery allows us to change our perspective. So
Right.
we go into the holiday season thinking, the holidays are really hard. You know, when you're 6 and you're like, it's Christmas, it's Christmas, it's Christmas. So we want to be able to get back to that part where we could say, wow, it's the holidays, instead of the holidays are really hard. Because at the
Right.
end of the day, the same stuff is going to happen. The way that I looked at it during that day, my perspective, right, is what gives me some happy or doesn't give me some happy. And you're so right. So as an addict, that's how we look at it. Oh my God, the holidays are so hard, instead of, yay, I get to share and to give and to be with my family and my friends.
And also it helps us get that ability to see how things play out. Someone turned around to me yesterday and said, you know, I said I've been abstinent since January the 17th, 2016. And he said, don't you miss chocolate? I go, it's not chocolate. That for me is like, I choose not to put that in my body because it's not one piece. It becomes like a whole process that I go through that leaves me feeling the way that I do, which is demoralized and beating myself up, and I can't stop. And it becomes a whole process. And so I'm learning that it's not a punishment. My recovery is something I choose every single day. It's something that I'm able to do it because I do the workshops and because I do the work and because I stay connected and because I stay grateful. You know, that isn't something I do on my own. I do it because of you guys as well.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, no, I didn't miss chocolate. I started smoking weed.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So it ain't about the chocolate. It's not
Wait,
about the weed.
Did he say he had?
No.
He's the same one who told me, asked me about bariatric surgery, that doesn't think that he's a food addict. Okay, so
No, she
this
said
is-
she was.
yeah.
You said you were abstinent from food, right?
Right.
For a
I
couple of
was.
years. Right. So if it was just about the chocolate, then you would
Chocolate,
have
I haven't
relapsed
picked
on
up
chocolate.
chocolate. Right, I
You would
haven't
have
picked up
wouldn't have
chocolate
relapsed on
for-
pot.
No.
Right.
They
Yeah.
are
Right.
separate addictions.
No, but she's talking about, do you miss chocolate? So yeah. So no. I mean the addiction's there. It don't matter what we're
Right.
picking up.
So the point of the whole thing is workshops coming up on the 20th. If you want to find out more, go to sowhywait.net, weight.net. All the information's on our website. You can have a look, read about it. There's also an online community there. If you feel like you want to reach out, get some resources, everything's there. We also have a video archive of all our past meetings. So use the resources, guys. It's all there for you.
use the resources, man.
Right,
And
step
so we
into
got
your life.
London in the house. Good morning, Miss Jess. Can you talk this morning? Is it like 4 in the morning, or where are we in London?
It is 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Oh, good.
Hi.
Okay. Hi. How are you?
I'm okay.
Can you share today or no? Well, you can.
can.
Do you choose to share today or no?
I can do, I just don't know what to share about it.
Okay, so I'm really glad to see you this morning. Well, this afternoon for you. And if you feel like sharing, will you let us know?
Sure.
Okay, baby, I'm happy that you're here. Bonnie, can you share?
Yeah, yesterday in the workshop was good, just to distinguish reaction versus crossing my boundaries. So I liked that. And I think that, I know that gives me freedom because from being here, I always, in the past, have crossed my boundaries, but I'm also very reactionary. So it's a very, very intertwined world.
Right, and for you, it's differentiating this is how I feel as opposed to this is a boundary. Because to put it out there and make it a boundary, you're not allowed to talk to me like this, is putting it on him. Right? As opposed to, do I accept the fact that he's a guy who comes home from work sometimes in a bad mood? And he isn't being mean to me, he's just in a bad mood. And that's okay, because he's a human being and his mood doesn't have to affect my happy. Right? So we're talking about the way that we feel and the way that we're reacting to the world around us. Right? I could blame it on him. I'm in such a bad mood because he came home from work and he was in such a bad mood. And, oh, okay. Right? Right?
Yeah.
So that was the difference yesterday, was you actually saying how you were feeling as opposed to just putting it how you're feeling about what's happening outside of you instead of what's happening inside of you.
Yes.
Right?
And I think I don't have feelings, but it does come out.
Yeah, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Trust
So
me,
I
you
do, yeah. But what I talked to my husband is like, I said, you know, I'm just so afraid. I mean, not that I want to live in fear, but I think I just have this fear because I've always
Fear of what?
of losing abstinence or not knowing how to deal with the fear that brings me back into the food. And
Okay.
so so that's
So you're
where,
scared of being scared.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Yeah.
Okay. That's legitimate. Okay.
And then just giving myself permission, just giving myself permission to experiencing it without putting the blame on anything.
Yeah, and without putting the blame on something else and remembering again that your feelings aren't facts. They're just feelings.
Right.
This is how I feel right now. Right? A cookie ain't gonna help it. Right? A handful of Percocets ain't gonna help it. Might for the second. Sounds good at the time. Right? But that doesn't help it. Just makes me feel like shit about myself even more. Right? And certainly doesn't take care of anything that's going on inside of me. So masking my feelings hasn't worked in the past. Right?
And I think one of the things that was good is you know, I could laugh at things like instead of getting defensive, because I do have a good relationship with my husband, and just letting him know what's going on instead of you know, getting into a reactionary state. So that was good, and we actually, you know, just bonded, you know, deeper with that.
Good.
So, but I just want to share a funny story. I went to this wedding yesterday and it was fine. I didn't have a problem with the food, and there was an open bar and I had gone to get the Diet Coke. And so she found the Diet Coke, and then she went to grab with her hands, God knows where her hands were, for the ice in the bucket. And I was thinking, no, it's okay, I don't need any ice. But I think normally I'd be like, oh, I'll just let it be. And it was like symbolic of why would I, even though I might have been dramatic, why would I don't know where her hands are, and I want that ice in my drink of
Fair
Diet
enough.
Coke. But even so, so many times I won't speak up. I just drink it, pray that there's no germs. I'm a germophobic, but it was oh no, it's okay, you know, just pour it. Oh, it's warm. It's it's fine, because it wasn't even about the Diet Coke. It was just about having something.
Well, and why in the past wouldn't you speak up?
Yeah, that was good for me to see, because I think just because something's there, I have to either eat it or just take it or.
Well, no, you said I'm a germaphobe, and her hands were in the ice.
Yeah.
And in the past, I would let that be okay. Why
And
would
then
you let that
suffer
be okay in the past? Because now we're not talking about the food.
Right.
We're talking about
Right.
What you
Well,
did.
you said something about how we reward ourselves by suffering. You know, there was something, and I think I'm still hooked to suffering.
I'm not sure. So I'm going to go out on a limb here
Okay.
and say, if you're making me a drink and I think your hands are dirty and you're putting ice in the glass and I'm going to drink it anyway, it's because I don't want you to feel look at me like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, well, that demanding bitch, and I can't even believe that she, right?
Yeah.
That's your ego. That's what
Right,
my
yeah.
opinion of you is. It don't matter what my opinion
Right.
of you is. I'm some chick hanging out here running a meeting. If I love you or I can't stand you, it's not about you. That's about me, right? So say perfectly legit thing anyway, even if it's not legit, even if it sounds crazy. I don't want any ice in my drink. Okay. And if I have a problem with that, that ain't your problem. That's
Right.
my problem.
Right.
Again, not looking at the outside world to teach me how to feel, but saying this is what I want and this is what I'm going to have, and that's okay. End of all of the discussion
Right.
in your head. Not about what I think of you. Who cares what I think of you?
Right.
Right? Don't matter. What you think of you matters. Right? You say show up, do your best to do your best, you're done. Right? All the other chaos that we attach to it is unnecessary. So good job, you. Good for you.
Yep, it was fun.
Good for you.
I enjoyed the wedding.
Very good. Ange, you gonna share, or are you doing your homework there? Our homework there, I mean.
Yes.
So,
Wow,
yeah.
what was that face for? That was like a thank you for working while we're during the meeting. That's okay, we'll get back to you.
So I just want to say, you mentioned Ange, and I just want to say something. You know, we're all grateful for the work that Angeli does.
Yes,
and
we are.
For Ahmed.
Yes, we are.
And, you know, they show up every single week and they work with us to get the message out that, you know, that recovery is possible. No one needs to live with the horrors of addiction because it really is horrific. Thank you to the West Broward Club here in Davie for this amazing space. So anyone who really wants to participate in the room, come on down. It's actually awesome. You get to get a hug, which is really amazing. But thank you guys. We appreciate you.
Miss Laura, we missed you at work. I missed you yesterday at workshop. How are you?
Good. I missed you guys too. I'm fine. Like today.
Was that an effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional type of fine?
Oh,
or
that's
are you
always me.
feeling okay? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's always me. Yeah. I'm okay. But one thing though, so you know what's interesting though? I did notice this week that it was the first time in a while that I've noticed that I was really, when someone else was eating, they were eating a dessert, that I wish that I was able to have it.
Okay.
And that was something that was new for me, that I kind of was a little bummed out
Your
that I'll
po-
never be.
your post surgery, how long?
7 months.
Yeah, so Ange had the same thing the whole time. Like the first 6 months, Angeli was like, I can't believe people crave that stuff, and I don't even want to eat any of that. And And one day, it was like 6 months, right? And she's like, I want Oreos, but like,
Yeah.
like in her heart,
Yeah.
painfully. She's like, I
Yeah.
never thought it was gonna happen. And I'm not BSing you. Like, she was like, I never thought that it was gonna happen. Like, I can't believe that it's happening because I really thought that once that was done, it was done. And that's why I talk about it doesn't really matter, the years or the time where you guys know my boyfriend's got 24 years or whatever.
Yeah.
In recovery. And a couple of years ago, we went to pick up dinner somewhere, and you sit at the bar and wait for them to bring you your dinner. And he was like, shit, like I could taste the beer in the back of my throat, So it's gonna happen, and that's okay. It sucks, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, now you're saying that, yeah, actually, so the other thing was I wanted alcohol this week,
Yeah.
right? That was the other, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you basically just didn't want to be in your own headspace.
Yeah, pretty much not.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Well,
So Laura's always super direct and to the point, and I really appreciate that. And so so sometimes it's just sharing, like, shit, right this minute I want to use. I used to wake up and say, like, I have no idea, like, my life is perfect. Everything is fine. My job is great. The kids are great. Everything is great, and I want to eat some opiate more than I want my left arm right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but it happens once in a while, and that's okay, right? Put it for
Yeah.
me. When I put it out there, I'll text somebody and say, I'm having such a great day and I really want to use. I do, and it makes me feel better. So I don't know what it does for them, but it makes me feel better.
So I have a tendency to romanticize it as well in my head, remembering all the good times, because there was a certain time when using was really a lot of fun. So it was either the getting high or the eating or all that kind of stuff. So I tend to focus on the really good times and I forget about how shitty the bad times were. And when I go back to those feelings of really how bad I felt, it doesn't always help me get beyond romanticizing it, because do you know what? I still have those times that I really would love to get high. I mean, honestly, I want to go around and smell people's breath and I do crazy stuff. But do you know what? Those moments come less and less. Before they were all consuming, you know, my ideas and my thoughts about food were 24/7. And then it became less and it became less, and they still show up, and it's not just the food, it's anything. But I think it's just being able to recognize them and just be able to acknowledge them and share
reach
them.
out. Yeah, reach out, Laura.
Yeah.
You know, you guys know, like in the big book of AA that I read, I used to read the promises every meeting. And there are some things that are said in that book. I mean, I got clean there. So shout out to all the A groups. We're not affiliated with any of them. Shout out to all of them. So grateful for all of them and for all the people that get clean there. But in the big book, they talk about incomprehensible demoralization. And those two words are two words that I love to put together anytime I do feel like using. Because even if I can't actually go through that whole tape of, I get to call people at 9 o'clock in the morning only on a Tuesday and let them know that, you know, I'm in treatment center somewhere. That if I can't play that whole tape out, that at least if I remind myself that incomprehensible demoralization is where I'm going to wind up real soon, that helps to snap me back into reality a bit, to say, shit, I know I don't want to go there, so what do I need to do right now so that I can get back on my recovery track? Ange, do you have time to share? Awesome. Good morning, Angeli. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
What's going on, girl?
Nothing. Everything's good.
Okay.
Trying to think when you said, do I have time to share? What do I want to
No.
share about?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no. I didn't mean
Yeah.
like that. Do you want me to share?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, of course.
Even though she's
No, no.
writing love notes to me, yes,
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
you to share.
Sure.
I was talking, so I know when Laura spoke, you guys were saying about her reaching out, and we actually talked this week. And so she talked to me about what she just talked about. And I also, and I think I've shared this with you. This week's been different for me. I changed something with my eating, not going into detail, doesn't matter. And it made me feel like I've never felt like hungry on a nonstop basis. Never. It's been, I'm a year and 8 months in recovery, going on 9. And I've never had an issue with the food really ever. It's been like you said, the day I'll tell you I want Oreos and it'll be over in 5, 10, 20 minutes, you know. But I've never had an issue like I've had this week. And so that's been different for me. And it also makes me feel like paranoid that, oh my God, I'm gonna gain weight because, you know.
And that's the challenge.
That's
the
challenge.
addiction part.
Yeah, so that's the important part of that. But, so I know we never talk about the weight or the scale, but I'm going to for a second.
It's okay.
So I got on the scale yesterday afternoon because I was convinced I gained 10 pounds, and I actually lost a pound, which
And
shows me that
how many pounds have you lost?
115, between 115 and 120,
Right.
something like that.
So and you're still paranoid about the weight,
Right.
even though you're doing what you're supposed to do, and that's the addiction part of it, right? So
Yeah, I
the
was
eating disorder part of it
convinced,
is still there.
Yeah.
It's okay, and you're doing great in spite of it. So
Yeah, I was convinced that I gained weight. I even had I had my jeans on yesterday, and I had a belt on them, and you were like grabbing me from the back, telling me I need smaller pants, and I'm like, no, I'm fat. I gained weight. These are my fat pants, and that just goes to show that I guess like you said, the addiction's still there.
Mhm.
It's just what we choose to do with it.
yeah, and sometimes it's going to show up,
Yeah.
and that's okay. Mark, do you feel like sharing?
Sure.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Hey, Mark, welcome.
I met Heidi yesterday. We had mutual friend. It's interesting that, it has nothing to do with the meeting and connecting
Speak
with
up.
you.
Speak up a little bit.
Okay. However, for me, I'm a personal trainer for work, and I specialize in people who have obese issues, and so the training is a little different than someone who's a bodybuilder, for example. And I make suggestions on diets. I'm not a nutritionist. I point them in directions. But I know from being in recovery in AA, it's all about the way we think. And so I was an OA member for a while and lost a boatload of weight. I was down to, I'm 6'1", normally 225. Ideally, I'd love to be 190, but I'm just never been able to get there. However, with OA, the quality of life I had sucked. Because, being an Italian and everything is around food for me in terms of family and friends and celebration. And so, like alcohol, it's there always, and you need it to survive, right? So it's my food choice. Not so much on eating saltier sugars. It's the comfort foods that when I'm feeling bad about myself, or I'm sad, or excited, or whatever the feeling is, I'm gonna have this creamy pasta, I'm gonna have this chocolate sundae, these are the things that reward me if I'm sad or if I'm happy. And I know I put alcohol down 5 years ago, but I just transferred it to another addiction, as Heidi and I discussed yesterday, and reminded me. And when I was in OA, I cut all out the sugar and the flour and this and that. And I remember at the time I was renting a house in Provincetown, so I used to live in Boston. And it was the worst summer because all my friends first were all drinking and having a good time, and I'm okay with that. I can be around that and not let it bother me. But then the barbecues and the pool parties and all this food that was there, and I couldn't have any of it. So I ended up being alone at home, afraid of going out. And I had this wonderful place to be, and I was too afraid to leave because I knew I was going to pick up a bread or an ice cream or something. So fast forward it now, I'm in Florida a year and a half and struggling with weight up and down and diets, and sugar has been the immediate crack for me. Not that I've ever done crack, but I think of it because I am fearful on if I put one bit of sugar in me, and that goes for like sugar-free things, because although it's sugar-free, it still acts like a sugar and sets it all off. So yesterday I had a very good day of eating and physical activity. However, I ended up, I was actually mad. I'm reiterating our conversation in my head as I'm at the gas station buying a pack of cigarettes, which I quit and picked up again when I moved here. I saw the candy and I walked right past it. I was like, nope, I'm not gonna have it. And just like that, out of my mind. I didn't even think about it. I'm like, I should get some money for tonight. So I go to the ATM machine, and right next to the ATM machine was the $1 candies, 99 cents, and I'm like, I need a sugar rush like right now. I'm like, no, I don't have it. This conversation went on in my head. I'm like, all right, whatever, I have $1 left, let me just do it. And I did it, and I just did not think about it. That's all I focused on was that sugar. And as soon as I got home, it's like, I'll just have one. And one turned into two, and two turned into the whole bag.
Yeah, one is too many and 1,000's never enough, right? Same. I need to ask you a question. What do you think is the difference between you being abstinent from alcohol, because I'm so glad that I hate to say I'm so glad you're cross-addicted, but I'm so glad to be able to speak to you about it.
Yeah.
With what would have been the difference if you would have spent your $1 on a $1 shot of vodka?
I never put it in that perspective.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's never about the food. There's something on our website. Super interesting. I put up a doctor speaking about dopamine receptor and crack and sugar. Sugar is 7 times more addicting than crack. And so, and it's not just the shit that I say to you guys, that I say to my patients, that I say to you guys. It's the truth. Listen to it, because it's going to give you some just make some physiological sense for you. But there's no difference between picking up that $1 bottle of vodka as there is picking up your $1 Scooby snacks. You know what I mean? Same. The thing is, sounds like to me, and I could be totally overstepping, but sounds like to me, you've differentiated them. And so we always talk about how it ain't never about the food. It's not about me starving myself. I'm an anorexic. It's not about me eating Percocets. That's kind of like saying, well, it's okay for me to eat Percocets because I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing. It's never what we're picking up. It's always WTF, man. Like, why am I doing this?
Right.
And how do I feel about it today? What's different? Nothing.
No, I agree. I think it was his own week.
It's not a
Totally
weakness.
agree.
You know it's not a weakness, man. You're an addict.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you weak,
Yeah.
right? It's just looking at your recovery differently,
Right.
right? And saying, shit, now I want to use. You know, you guys, I'm an alcoholic and a drug addict. I could call anybody at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, you know what, I'm going to use, right? I could call Brian. I hardly know you. Brian, it's Felice. I just want to let you know, like, I'm going to use right now. I'm going to go eat 16 Percocet. I know that my stepmom has them underneath the sink in the bathroom, and you're going to talk me off the ledge. How many people do you have that you could call at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, I'm going to eat 14 Oreos, who aren't going to say, why the F did you just call me and wake me up?
Not only that, how often would we go in our head, well, that's not that bad and it's not that serious
Well,
and
that's
not
what
going
he's
to work.
doing.
Exactly.
Right. You're making what you're picking up, and again, because it's not about why you're picking up, but you're making it the lesser of the two evils. But the feelings are the same, and the shame is the same, and the incomprehensible demoralization is the same. And you're not playing it out till the end. You know in your head, if I pick up this vodka, this looks like I'm going back into treatment. That's what that looks like. I could play that out. If I pick up the M&Ms, you don't play that out to the end. It's just like, you know what, I'm just going to do it right now and it doesn't matter. First of all, no one's going to know. I ain't going to drive home drunk. All right? I'm not going to crash my car. But it's all the same. And I hope that at some point that you'll recognize that, because your feelings and he's talking about it just like he shot up yesterday.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I definitely, you know, the gluttony that I had experienced over a week's worth of binging on just consuming huge amounts of sugar, and all of the foods that set off more sugar in my body, the pastas and all of that. I was so disgusted with myself. I'm like, this is taking me further away from my goals. I'm a fraud. I'm helping people achieve their goals in health and fitness, but I'm killing myself. And it was like another mind took over. I woke up, I went into the refrigerator, and I threw everything out. Every single thing. My refrigerator is bare. I have like some chicken stock and some salad dressing and water. And I'm fearful, truly fearful to put anything in it.
You know what? You should talk with Haiti about that, because she's got a lot of great tools about, you know, prepping your foods and doing this and whatever, so that you don't have to walk around with that fear. So maybe you can help him with that after, because it sounds like to start with, that's something that he really needs your help with that.
Sure.
Thank you so
Sure,
much
no
for
problem.
sharing. Oh, I
Thanks
get
for
to Brian
having
real
me.
quick?
Yeah, that's good.
Brian?
Hi, I'm Brian.
Hi.
Hi, Brian.
Thanks for everything today has really hit home. I just, you know, I felt like, especially with the newcomer there, it was like, it's all like emergency room. Like when I first get in, it's like emergency room. I need to stop. Everything needs to stop. Stop the bleeding.
Right.
And then from there, you get into the recovery aspect of how do I take care of this on a daily basis. And well, there's, you know, then you have to go figure it out, and then you have to figure out how to stay. And easiest way for me has been one day at a time. And so I don't have to look at the big, long way out there. You know, I'm just looking at it right now. It's been probably the best aspect I've had in my whole sobriety was like, it's right now. It's not 2 days from now. It's not what about the Christmas party that I have to go to later. It's about right now, today, wake up every day thinking that I'm gonna be on the right side of it. You know, my life's gonna be on the right side today, and I felt heartwarming through a lot of stories today. It's really glad to be.
And so you talk about living your today instead of worrying about tomorrow, right? Not being afraid about tomorrow. Because, you know, the more I'm paying attention to tomorrow, you guys, the more I'm missing the movie, man. I'm sitting right here and I'm not hearing anything anybody's saying because my head is so full of chaos about the what ifs. You guys know, I'm in recovery because my 17-year-old son died in an accident, right? I was the straightest person on the planet. And I tell you guys, imagine if he knew that he was going to get into an accident and die when he was 17 years old. How many years might he have spent scared that he was going to die when he was 17? You know, you don't know if you have the next second. But for just this second, I don't need to pick up. And for just this second, I can pay attention to what you're saying, right? And relate to you and care about you and be here with you and not worry about whether or not I'm gonna die in an accident or I'm gonna be at a Christmas party where people are gonna be shooting up or drinking or eating or whatever.
So we kind of coming to the end of our meeting today, and this really comes down, this touches on something that really was the crux of why we started doing what we do. Because we believe that it's possible people can live and be happy and choose to be happy and live in the moment and enjoy life right this second, right now, today. And there's a way to do it, that's why we do these workshops and that's why we do these meetings. And not only is the way to do it, we don't need to do it alone. We can do it with friends, we can do it in community, we can get support, we can learn from others. If we don't have courage today on our own, I can get courage from you. This is what it's about. Being the most we can be right this second, being happy, living in the moment, learning to enjoy life. This is not a dress rehearsal, we get one. Might as well enjoy it. The amazing thing is when we look at all the chaos around us, I can guarantee you something. We have survived 100% of everything that's ever happened to us up until this point. We're here. As what we decide to do today as we're moving through today. So my suggestion is, if you are curious, if you are interested in learning more, we have these opportunities, we do them so people can get their happy on, okay? December the 20th, mark it down on.
Man.
I steal a lot of stuff from you.
That's all my stuff, man.
So December the 20th, mark your calendars. Who's joining us, okay? December the 27th, who's joining us, okay? January the 5th, who's participating in their own lives? That is why we choose to be different. We choose to be different because we can teach, and that's what we do. We learn and we teach. So we're meeting up again on Sunday. It's still Panther season.
Yes, it is.
Right,
Yay.
so Sundays
Lost
are
last
meeting
night.
days,
Lost.
9:30 Eastern Standard Time. And do you want to start taking us out?
Okay, well, I'm going to take you out. I'm so blessed and so grateful for every one of you. Thank you for being a part of my recovery. I'm blessed and grateful to be in recovery. My name is Dr. Felice Cellini. This has been our Why Wait for Recovery Sunday morning community meeting.
And my name is Haiti, and I'm so blessed and grateful for you. And go to our website, sowhywait.net. There's loads of information. If no one's told you today that they love you, I love you. Have a beautiful day. Peace out.
Peace out, you guys.
Peace out, guys.
Cammie.
Thank you, everyone.
Laura, call me back.